Goten, Goku's son who was born with the potential to become even stronger than him. But what if we ramp him up even more? What if Goten was born a legendary Super Saiyan? Directly after he's born, Goten has a power level of 10,000. So immense that Vegeta even shows up to meet the Saiyan child who has a power level over 10 times the power he had at birth. Gohan also notices this immense power up, but for now, they assume that it could be just because Goku was so powerful. However, Vegeta can't accept that. He and Goku are about the same power, yet his son is so much weaker than Goku. Many years would pass, and Goten is now training with Gohan. His power level has increased multiple fold. When sparring with Gohan, he's pretty much matching his power. Goten's power grows immensely whenever he's training. His potential is seemingly endless. This never-stopping increase in power would motivate not only Trunks to get more powerful and rival Goten, but also Vegeta and Gohan. The two see that this kid is pretty much on their level, and that's hard to believe considering they have years and years of experience. If Goten were to get some fighting skill, then there's no doubt he could beat them very soon. Vegeta takes advantage of Goten's power, and starts going around more to Goku's house to train him, while Chi-Chi's out. Gohan eventually gets busy with being the Great Saiyan Man and going to school, so it becomes a perfect opportunity for Vegeta and even Trunks. Vegeta doesn't hold back against Goten. He knows what the kid is capable of. Using even Super Saiyan 2, Vegeta starts to spar with Goten. At first, he's pushed around easily, getting punched repeatedly and taking heavy damage. Goten is scared. He's never fought anyone with no worries to how much pain they inflict on him. No matter the power gap, Goten is just a kid. Even while he's disappointed, Vegeta doesn't stop. He starts wailing on Goten, punching him, taking him through mountains. At first, Goten breaks into tears, but then those emotions manifest and start to become anger. As he gets angrier and angrier, Goten's power explodes. His hair spikes up. It turns green. Vegeta's pushed back by just the sheer force coming off him. He's worried that he's just unleashed a power even he can't stop. Gohan senses this immense spike coming from Goten. He can feel his brother's ki, yet it's so different. So much rage coming off him. Piccolo also starts flying towards the scene to stop whatever the hell Vegeta just did. Goten starts to fight Vegeta once more, but this time there's no fear. There's no worry of what Vegeta might do to him. There's just fight. Goten is easily beating Vegeta. Even in Super Saiyan 2, Vegeta can't put up a fight. He's smacked down to the ground, stomped on. He becomes bruised and beaten. Trunks is watching from the side and decides to intervene. He powers up into Super Saiyan and attacks Goten, but nothing happens. Trunks is pushed back by his own attack on Goten. It didn't do anything. Goten just tanked it. Trunks tries again and again as he looks at his father beaten to a pulp. Eventually, Goten fires back and severely bruises Trunks with a single punch. Seeing this, Vegeta goes into an enraged state. He's finally able to get up and fight back. He screams for Goten to stop because he doesn't want to hurt the kid, but there's nothing. Gohan and Piccolo arrive landing next to Vegeta. Gohan angered at the fact that Vegeta would try something like this. But now is not the time to argue. They all power up with Gohan going into Super Saiyan 2 alongside Vegeta's enraged Super Saiyan 2 and Piccolo's full power. They charge a single attack at Goten, and he doesn't even flinch. Goten starts to walk through it, but it starts to damage him more and more as he reaches the end. Gohan ends his attack and lands a blow to the back of Goten's neck, knocking him out. He asks Piccolo for some senzus, which he brought. They give one to Goten, Trunks, and another to Vegeta. Goten is healed up, but doesn't remember anything. Trunks is pretty much traumatized. He's afraid of the power that Goten possesses. Vegeta, on the other hand, smirks. He says, "Good job, kid," before proceeding to fly away. Gohan is angered. He chases after the former prince. Vegeta disregards him and explains that if he really wants Goten to be safe, then he should teach him how to control whatever that was. The two split, and as Gohan gets back, there's two people dressed really weirdly that approach him, Piccolo, and Goten. They introduce themselves as the Kais. Shin and Kibito had sensed the battle all the way from the Kai's world, and they were alarmed. They noticed Gohan and Goten's power, as well as that other Saiyans. No doubt that Babidi did as well. He's probably on his way over here right now. Gohan is left confused. Who are you? Who's Babidi? And what does this have to do with them? Shin explains that Babidi is an evil wizard who plans to resurrect a creature known as Majin Buu. They need to stop him. While Gohan doesn't want to go along with this, Piccolo encourages him to. One way or another, Babidi will arrive and attack. The difference is, will he be shocked by them, or will they be shocked by him? Agreeing, Gohan tells Shin he'll train with them. However, Shin isn't there just for Gohan. He looks behind him, at Goten. Piccolo then even starts to refuse, remembering the time that he was arguing with Goku about sending Gohan into fight with Cell. But Gohan remembers what Vegeta had said. Goten needs to learn how to control his power before it's too late. And so they head to the Supreme Kai's world, where Gohan pulls out the Z-Sword and trains alongside Goten. The two grow immensely in power. This would be about 1 month before Babidi's arrival. and this time Gohan is able to gain a lot of power. Just training with the Z-Sword for hours makes one extremely more powerful. Goten can't yet lift it. He would have to use his Super Saiyan form, but he can't even access that. He doesn't know how to control that power, whatever it is. Shin and Kibido try their best to teach Goten any way to. Gohan chimes in, having experience with power that comes from rage. This allows for Goten to have 3 mentors, and very effective ones. While he can't access the legendary Super Saiyan power, he's able to use the normal Super Saiyan by powering up for now. It continues to be a lot more powerful than even Gohan's current Super Saiyan 2, and that's post-Z-Sword training. Due to Goku never being there, the Z-Sword wouldn't break. The Elder Kai isn't out, yet, but Babidi has arrived on Earth. Vegeta has been training relentlessly on Earth, and so has Trunks. Trunks, while afraid of Goten, who has already apologized to him on multiple occasions, still wants to increase his power to the level that Goten has. And if he can't get to that level yet, he at least wants to impress his father. The two even spend a day in the Room of Spirit and Time after Vegeta's request to Dende. This would allow for Vegeta to increase immensely in power, Trunks even able to get close to unlocking Super Saiyan 2. He tries his best to bond with his father, but Vegeta has layers on layers on layers that only Bulma has been able to get through. When powering up though, Trunks surprises his father with the power that he had gained. Vegeta gives him a smile, which is enough encouragement for Trunks to keep going on. Goku still wants to come to Earth for the Tenkaichi Budokai tournament. The Kais would not go. They instead send Gohan and Goten to be their enforcers and handle the issue. The reunion with Goku is heartfelt, but Vegeta only wants to fight. Their power would be extremely close considering the time that Vegeta had, an extra year, in the Room of Spirit and Time, and he trained a lot harder to even beat Goten. While Gohan and Videl's relationship didn't grow as much this time around, she still knows he's the Great Saiyaman. In the short time he spent on Earth while visiting his mother, she blackmailed him into joining the tournament. Now all that's left to do is wait for their chance to find Babidi. The junior division comes first, and pretty much all of it goes like normal, except Goten and Trunks are even more broken now. They end up, of course, fighting each other. Goten and Trunks agree not to use their Super Saiyan form, especially because Goten's is absolutely broken. They have a great fight though, and both are more humble due to their extended time training. They have a sense of respect. Goten trained with the Kais and Gohan, so of course he would. Trunks doesn't try to bribe Goten, and even if he did, Goten wouldn't fall for the bribe. The fight rages on with the two actually being able to utilize ki attacks. They fire Kamehameha and a Gallic Gun respectively, which gives flashbacks to both Goku and Vegeta of the good old days. Thankfully, this is just for a tournament and not for the fate of the Earth. The beam erupts as Trunks maneuvers around to catch Goten off guard, but Goten appears above him, attempting a kick which Trunks catches. Their clash continues, with Goten and Trunks both getting hits on each other and doing a lot of damage. They power up to their max and base and start to bull rush each other. One final punch for all the marbles. But as Trunks comes in, Goten ducks and lands an uppercut to knock Trunks out of the ring. While both are stronger, Goten learned a lot more martial arts and technique while training with the Kais than Gohan. Trunks spent a year in the time chamber, giving him a height advantage. Goten was smart enough to notice and not let one punch kill his victory. We then move on to the adult fights, where most things also play out similarly. Spopovich brutally attacks Videl, which causes Gohan to almost break and do something, but he holds back. Gohan doesn't power up for anybody because the Kais are not there. Instead, he's put up against Goku. This greatly angers Vegeta, but he realizes that Goku wouldn't have gone all out anyways. In their fight, Gohan tells Goku the plan. They only power up ever so slightly to tip off Spopovich and Yamu. As they come in for the attack, the two jump above and kick them out of the arena. Then they start flying away and the chase begins. Everyone else follows suit, including Goten and Trunks.
Goten and Trunks chase behind the group, talking about what they're about to do. They know they might get in trouble, but it's worth it. Maybe it'll be fun. The group lands down right outside of Babidi's ship, being noticed by Deborah, who comes in to attack Kibido. Gohan's quick to react, however. His training with the Z-Sword made him far more powerful than he was originally. He kicks Deborah away, firing a blast at him. Babidi smirks before teleporting Deborah inside. The group enter the ship, with Goten and Trunks waiting patiently outside. Since Piccolo and Krillin didn't get turned into stone, they're with the group. However, they have no interest in fighting. If the Saiyans want to do it, let the Saiyans do it. This way, the order remains the same. Vegeta decimates Pui Pui with the new power he has, and Goku takes notes. Speaking of, Goku fights against Yakon, defeating him in the same way, using light. Gohan then takes on Deborah, but this fight goes completely differently. Before Deborah was able to match him, we saw him even struggle. But this Gohan has a month of training with the Z-Sword. His power is at least triple what it was originally. He doesn't even bother toying with Deborah, because of what's at stake. He fires a Masenko, which destroys Deborah. Babidi then starts to panic. He hasn't collected enough energy to create Buu yet. And so comes Majin Vegeta. Vegeta, while still believing in his ability to defeat Goku, will take the power-up that he's being offered. He and Goku head off to the side to start their fight. Vegeta's Super Saiyan 2 is actually well above Goku's with the Majin boost. He trained quite heavily, even more so than in canon. Vegeta also spent some time in the Room of Spirit and Time. This contributes to him starting to win against Goku. Goku's shook. He doesn't know what to do, debating whether or not to transform into his Super Saiyan 3 form. At the end of the day, he realizes that Vegeta has no intention to stop, and therefore, he must do it. Goku tells Vegeta to stop as he reveals he's been holding back. Vegeta shouts at him to go all out already, and so he does. Goku creates a roar so loud that it shakes the earth. His aura starts to expand alongside his hair. His power skyrockets and the earth trembles as it does. Goku transforms into a Super Saiyan 3. Vegeta stands there in awe. After all he did, can he even beat this? Is he strong enough to beat Kakarot? He tries to attack Goku, but to no avail. While he is strong in his own right, he doesn't compare to Super Saiyan 3. Goku starts to charge up an attack, using instant transmission to maneuver around Vegeta. He comes in close and fires him, taking Vegeta down, but not killing him. Goten and Trunks have been watching the fight take place. They start to rush the scene, but then sense a much stronger and more powerful ki start to form. Majin Buu has received enough power to come out. But it's not just enough power, it's an overflow of it. Goku turning into a Super Saiyan 3 overfueled Buu. This fight had led to a catastrophe that is a stronger Majin Buu. He comes out in all his glory. Goten and Trunks look at each other and bolt to the scene. Shin, Kibito, and Gohan stand to face Buu. Babidi commands him to attack as Gohan gets prepared for the fight of his life. He powers up into Super Saiyan 2, which rivals Goku's Super Saiyan 3. Buu starts to fight Gohan, and the two are on par, with Gohan getting frustrated. Every time he fires a blast to do some damage, Buu just heals. Why can't he kill him? Why can't he kill it? Goku is well on his way to the fight, but he loses Super Saiyan 3. He expelled way too much energy. Goku reaches for his senzu beans, but it's too late. He passes out from the injuries he received from Vegeta. Now it's all up to Gohan, Goten, and Trunks. But it doesn't look good as Gohan starts to also lose stamina. He's been at it for a while, but Buu just won't go down. He keeps regenerating, keeps coming back. It feels like Buu just won't tire out no matter how much he fires at him. Luckily though, he isn't alone. Gohan turns around to see Goten and Trunks back him. Goten turns into his Super Saiyan, with Trunks turning into a Super Saiyan 2. Goten's power is so immense that it even rivals with Buu. The three launch a consecutive attack to take him down for good. Buu gets tossed around. The group land combo after combo, punching him, taking him, and launching their strongest blasts at him. But all this starts to backfire in the end. Buu starts to get angrier and angrier. He starts to lose his mind. Pink steam starts to come out of his head, and out comes Evil Buu. Evil Buu then absorbs Good Buu, and Super Buu is born. This new version of him might just be what the Z Fighters weren't looking to receive. Buu just got 2 power-ups in a short period of time. The 3 hybrids try their best. They charge at Buu once more, but Gohan's loss of energy results in him being beaten by Buu pretty easily. Trunks can't put up much of a fight either, and that leaves Goten all alone against Buu. He feels like how he felt when Vegeta was beating down on him. No way out, nothing he can do about it, but he can do something. Goten lets out a scream heard all throughout the battlefield. It ignites a green aura around him as he stands up to face Buu, who got pushed back. Super Buu looks visibly afraid. Goten's power is so high it far exceeds Goku's or Gohan's. His eyes are blank. His only target? Buu. Rushing at him, Buu doesn't have any time to react. He takes a brutal beating, Goten not letting him escape, slowly enjoying torturing him. Punch after punch, kick after kick, Goten starts to laugh. He then starts to charge a blast in his hand and obliterates Buu. But that's not it. Goten's power continues to grow. Goku and Vegeta get up after sensing this. Shin teleports to Gohan, having Kibito heal him. Goku grabs his senzu and eats one. Vegeta had caught up to him though, and he gives him one as well. The 3 Saiyans look on at Goten, his power seemingly endless. It continues to grow as he locks eyes with them. Goten's insanity leads him to attack his friends and family. This causes all of them to instantly go all out. They have no chance. Gohan and Vegeta using Super Saiyan 2, and Goku once more utilizing Super Saiyan 3. They start to fight Goten, but they aren't able to do much. He tanks most of their attacks, nothing doing any damage to him. The ones that do barely tickle. However, the pain that Goten inflicts on them is immense. He brutally attacks Vegeta for the built-up anger he had at him, as well as Goku for not being there his whole life, choosing to remain dead instead of caring for his son. Gohan is just a victim of the anger that isn't even channeled towards him. Shin risks his life, using the Kai Kai to get the Z Fighters a safe distance away. That's when Goku suggests fusion. He can't think of anything better. They can't do anything to stop him, so they have to use fusion. He learned a technique in the other world that allows two people to fuse into one, a being with immense power. Since there's three of them, and Vegeta being Vegeta doesn't want to do it, Gohan and Goku perform the dance. However, it takes a little bit for Gohan to learn it, so Shin takes the two to his world, while Kibito heals Vegeta and teleports the other Z-Fighters to his spot. They have to hold the line. Vegeta, Piccolo, Tien, Krillin, Yamcha, Trunks, and 18 try their best to hold Goten back. Luckily, they don't have to do it for long. Gohan learns to dance and performs it with Goku, creating Gokhan. Gokhan uses instant transmission to appear on the battlefield and stands as the only thing capable of beating Goten. He stares down against the kid, who is not only his son, but also his brother. Gokhan doesn't hold back. He powers up in Super Saiyan 2 and starts to best Goten. He tries his best to not hurt him, just neutralize him. Luckily, Goten is starting to wear down and lose a lot of stamina. He had been going at it for a while. A fusion between Goku and Gohan is just too much for him to take on. He's defeated. And then, the aftermath. Goten destroyed so much that it really leaves an impact on the group. They can't let this happen again. Goten has to learn how to control this power. Gohan feels that it's his fault this happened. He listened to Vegeta, but he didn't execute it right. Goku is even thinking about getting revived after this. Maybe he should be there to teach his son how to control this power. His goal of passing it on to the next generation can come, but he needs to do this first. Vegeta just walks off. He foresaw this, and he warned them. That's all. Goku's revived using Purunga, and Goten is terrified of his own power. It may take time, years even, but in any case, Goten will learn to control this power. The first step is the Room of Spirit and Time. As you would expect, all he's done under this power takes a massive toll on Goten himself. He remembers doing it, he just didn't have any control over what he was doing. When Goku takes Goten into the Room of Spirit and Time, he makes sure to bring Senzu Beans to prepare for what was coming. We know that Goku's pretty good at mastering transformations. It took him only 10 months in the room to master Super Saiyan. He also created Super Saiyan 3. But it appears he has hit a wall of power, something he himself can't even cross. But maybe by helping his son learn to control the power he has, something can be unlocked within him too. Goku would obviously try the simplest method first. Meditation. It's calming and a good form to hone your ki. Goten sees some improvement, but he still is able to go beyond Super Saiyan without losing his mind in the process. That's when Goku suggests that he do it while he's in the legendary Super Saiyan form. Once they attempt this, Goku struggles immensely to fight his son. He's too weak. Super Saiyan 3 isn't enough to take on whatever power Goten possesses. So after failing, he seeks new power for himself first. Whenever he's fought Goten, Goku noticed uncontrollable rage and primal instinct. Maybe that's the answer. If he can't achieve what Goten has, he needs to do something that will unlock his own primal instinct. That's when it clicks. Goku realizes what he needs to do. Heading over to Capsule Corp, Goku steps in front of Vegeta, asking about the Great Ape. Goku says that while he was never able to control the ape, doing so might allow him to gain an insight on the power that Goten has. He asks Vegeta for tips on how to do so. But first, they summon Shenron to ask for Goku's tail to be brought back. Once it is, Vegeta attempts to teach Goku how to use the Great Ape. And having already learned to control forms with much greater power, Goku does so with little to no issue. But this is only a 10 times boost. This primal power just isn't doing it. How can he break the wall? Goku experiments. He asks Vegeta about what the Super Saiyan legend actually was. He explains that it was a form only to appear every 1,000 years, a power so great that no one could rival. This is what they believe to be Goten's power. But how does that help? Goku then has an idea. What if the ape is the instinct, and the Super Saiyan is the rage? Think about it. Super Saiyan was only obtained through deep emotional trauma or rage. This is how Goku will create the primal power he's in search for. Vegeta doesn't question it, but Goku, in attempting to do this, struggles to immensely control it, realizing this is exactly the struggle that Goten has to go through. He starts to smack Vegeta around, who can't exactly fight a Super Saiyan Great Ape. But Gohan arrives to help Vegeta, and together they snap Goku out of it. And when the rage leaves, the primal power starts to surface. As he shrinks, Goku achieves a power that will rival with Goten. He achieves Super Saiyan 4. This newfound power shocks the group. Gohan and Vegeta are amazed. How is this form so powerful? Vegeta wants to hop on the train and do the same, but he stops himself. He can't just follow Kakarot. He has to find his own path. But regardless, Goku now has the power required to hold Goten off as he attempts to control the legendary Super Saiyan. Heading into the time chamber once more, Goten starts to transform, his hair turning green and his aura increasing his size. Goku isn't deterred. He's strong enough to do this now. He starts to charge towards Goten, actually being able to land a punch. When Goten attacks, he's able to see the movement and dodge. Goten's ability to increase his power as he fights is coinciding with Goku's. They're both doing it. This training is everything he imagined. But now, it's time to snap him out. He tries to do what Gohan did with him, telling him a story that would make him loosen up. Goku tells Goten to remember the first time they saw each other. Remember, at the tournament, you were so happy. Remember that feeling. Remember when you had no rage, no fury. Remember the power you had when it was controlled. Goten's aura starts to lower down, but not his power. He has controlled the legendary Super Saiyan as his eyes start to become visible again. His hair continuing to remain green. Goten hugs his father after this breakthrough, thanking him for the help. Goku can only smile. He's done it. His mission is complete. He could finally rest and pass it on to the next generation. But that doesn't mean he doesn't want to fight. He tries to fight Vegeta, but he's too weak at this point. Vegeta's in search for his own power, but nothing comes to him at this point. He also tries to fight Gohan, and while Ultimate is powerful, it's not on Goku's level. The only person that can only fight on his level is Goten, and it's extremely beneficial training. Both have power that constantly expands as the fight goes on, but they can't do this often because the Earth takes a hit. Eventually, the God of Destruction Beerus wakes up, and we all know what happens next. He arrives on Earth in search of the Super Saiyan God, and it's about the time of Bulma's birthday. Goku challenges Beerus to a fight not long after meeting him, even though Vegeta tried to stop him. Goku and Beerus go at it, and every transformation he uses gets almost one shot. Super Saiyan 3 doesn't even do anything. That's when Goku tells Beerus to back up as he powers up into the form that increases his power insanely. His hair growing ever so slightly, but the noticeable change is the red fur. Goku calls it Primal Instinct. But it's really just Super Saiyan 4. The most important thing is that Beerus is actually impressed by the power. He fights Goku and the two are going toe to toe, but only because Beerus is holding back a lot of his power. Don't get me wrong, Super Saiyan 4 is powerful, but it's no Super Saiyan God. Regardless, Goku fires everything he has at Beerus, even using a technique called a 10 times Kamehameha, which damages Beerus. He attempts to use a Dragon Fist as well, but Beerus isn't that clumsy. He lets Goku come in, but ducks and uppercuts him in the face. He then fires a Hakai at him, which Goku tries his best to stop. It's about to engulf him when Goten starts to power up. He turns into a legendary Super Saiyan and charges forward to help his son. Beerus is shocked. Why does this kid have more power than the adult Saiyan? Together, the two push back the Hakai, but Beerus no longer cares. He eyes Goten, with Goku realizing what he wants to do. He won't let him fight his son. Are you out of your mind, Goku says? Beerus could care less. He punches Goku with extreme force. At a point-blank ki blast, at his max power is plenty to knock Goku out of Super Saiyan 4. Before Beerus could do anything to Goten, Gohan intervenes, saying he can get his Super Saiyan God. They just need to summon Shenron. Doing so, it's revealed what a Super Saiyan God is, and together the Saiyans do the ritual. However, it's on Vegeta. He's been waiting for something like this. Goku has Super Saiyan 4, Goten has Legendary Super Saiyan, and Gohan has Ultimate. But he has nothing unique, nothing to himself. It's only fitting for royalty to have the power of God, he says. Vegeta turns into a Super Saiyan God, and Beerus is to say the least impressed. He's even stronger than the other two Saiyans, although it's not a crazy difference. Definitely achievable by the others. Beerus enjoys his last fight against Vegeta, and Vegeta even uses a technique he had time to make when Beerus fired a Hakai at him, calling it the Final Shine attack. This attack takes almost everything out of him, but he's able to push the attack back, surprising Beerus. But that's not it. Vegeta catches Beerus off guard once more by locking him in a grip. Vegeta says this is my ace card. He starts to focus every bit of energy he has into one point, and lets it all go, creating the final explosion. Beerus even shouts at Vegeta, worried because the attack had great power. But at the end of the day, while it knocks Vegeta out cold and tears off Beerus' clothes, it doesn't kill anybody. Beerus is happy with how the fight went. He even respects Vegeta for doing everything he could to stop him. He then looks at Goku, Goten, and Vegeta collectively, saying all of them have a place to train on his planet, and by a god himself. Whis chimes in, saying, "You mean me, right?" "Shut up, Whis!" he screams before leaving. The group feast after the incredible fights that took place, Goku remarking that Vegeta's whole power is completely different now. It feels like he got a lot stronger. Vegeta notices it too. He's finally beaten Kakarot in power, but it won't last if he doesn't continue training. Goku and Gohan take pride in Goten for stepping up, commending his ability to stay in control. Goten says he wants to take that Beerus guy up on the offer to train. He's interested in getting stronger as well as getting taller. It's time we give Goten and Trunks a bit of a hype boost considering they're 13 and 14 each. While this feast takes place though, Frieza's army approaches Earth. It's been a couple months since Beerus initially came to Earth, and Whis finally decides to revisit one day. Luckily enough for the Z Fighters, Vegeta noticed his arrival, and unlike his original counterpart, he decides to share the news with Goku and even Goten, who wanted to train on Beerus' planet. seeing the benefit in it. Whis is hesitant to bring the kid, but he remembers Lord Beerus wanting them all on the planet, and therefore he sighs and then takes off. After they arrive, the training immediately gets intense. Goten has immense power, but his base is still quite weak, and he isn't that mature, something Whis will need to work on. While Goku and Vegeta train in Whis' staff, Whis takes personal care of Goten, disciplining him. While Goten has the brute strength advantage over most of his opponents, he always leaves himself wide open, something Whis exploits in their training. This helps Goten learn to harness his abilities as martial artist, and that partnered with his immense power only serves to strengthen him further. On the other hand, Goku and Vegeta have both tapped into God Ki, but they both go a different route with it. While Vegeta takes Super Saiyan God and amplifies it with the power of Super Saiyan, creating Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan, Goku still feels that his pinnacle of power shouldn't go to waste, that it could be used in some way. He starts to work on combining God Ki with his primal instinct power. On Earth, Trunks feels left out. He doesn't have the power that Goten does, but he still wants to train and impress his father, to show him that his strength still matters, even though it's not as great as others. This is when he begins to train with Gohan, and not just on Earth, on Shin's planet. There, Gohan introduced him to the Elder Kai, who unlocks his potential, and with Ultimate, Gohan and Trunks start their training to best themselves. All this training is put to good use when Frieza attacks Earth with his army and newfound golden form. Gohan and Trunks are first on the scene because of Shin's Kai ability. With the rest of the Z fighters following, they fight with Frieza's army and defeat it with little to no issue. Frieza himself is the threat. Gohan faces off against Frieza using his ultimate form. His power is immense, but it's put to the test when Frieza powers up into his full form. Gohan seems to be on par with the Emperor, as the two exchange blows and ki attacks. Frieza then reveals he was holding back, but as he starts to power up, Gohan is not stupid enough to let his opponent get stronger and defeat him. He simply attacks Frieza. He tries everything he can to stop him, but eventually the Emperor is able to fire Death Beam through his arm, sending him back long enough for him to power up into Golden. Trunks runs in to help his master, but the two are both defeated by Golden Frieza. Just then, Goku, Vegeta, and Goten arrive. Since both Goku and Vegeta got to fight Beerus, Goten thinks it's only fair he gets to fight Frieza. The two don't object. They want to see what Goten can do. How did his training with Whis play? And Frieza starts to laugh. They think that the child can defeat him? He starts laughing harder, but Goten isn't deterred. He begins to power up using his controlled legendary Super Saiyan. Frieza's laughter turns into horror as he senses the power emanating from Goten. Goten smirks, and with his newfound skill, absolutely mocks and demolishes Frieza. He gets no opportunity to fire back. Goten is in his face the entire time. Punch, kick, and then with a single Kamehameha, death to the Emperor. The group congratulate Goten on the win, and we now move on to the Universe 6 saga. Goten sticks back to train with Gohan and Trunks in the meantime, giving a boost to their power. When Goku and Vegeta come back with the news of a tournament, they immediately have the fighters they require. Them, Gohan, Goten, and Trunks, a team full of Saiyans. Perfect. As the tournament starts, we have Goku vs Gatama, which goes the same. Goku then loses to Frost due to the poison needle. Trunks takes his place and shows off his power, but also loses because of the needle. But that's when Jocko notices and points it out. Vegeta takes the spot and beats the living hell out of Frost, Vegeta, and then teaches Kaba Super Saiyan, but ultimately he loses as well. However, when he gets to Hit, things take a turn for the worse. Much like normal, Vegeta can't predict any of Hit's moves, and gets taken out like he's nothing. Gohan tries his best to put up a fight, but he too doesn't fare much better. When Goten enters the ring, however, Hit feels almost insulted. He thinks his child will be no issue to take down, but he's completely wrong. Goten powers up, and his power surpasses Hit, so much so that the time skip doesn't even affect him. Even when Hit improves it, Goten is able to fight back with his newfound martial arts skills learned by Whis. This fight is almost too easy for him. Goten strikes it with some of his most powerful attacks, which sends the fighter flying out of the ring. The wish remains the same, and Goku meets Zeno, also telling him about the tournament, which puts that into Zeno's brain. Now when we come to the Goku Black Saga, while Zamasu is still pissed at the mortals, he isn't nearly as pressed as the original. Goten was the last fighter, and while he was able to defeat Hit in the tournament, that's really about it. He didn't use any God Ki or God powers to do it. This results in Zamasu not being as ticked off as he was, and so the future timeline doesn't get decimated. You could argue that he would steal Vegeta's body, but Vegeta didn't really do anything. So in this case, Zamasu and the Goku Black Saga, they just don't happen. And this leads us right into the Tournament of Power. The big difference in fighters in the tournament will be that Goten and Trunks are actually considered mature enough to do it, considering all that they've been through in this story. They replace Buu and Frieza, but that's really it. Goten decides to stick with his father while Trunks goes with Piccolo and Gohan. The Universe 9 team attack father and son, but don't fare well as they're all defeated one by one. The trio of Dangers try to fire a collective beam at the two, but they recreate the father-son Kamehameha to overtake the blast, erasing Universe 9 in the process. Every fighter in the tournament stops to take in the reality that just struck them, and the fact that two people caused the erasure of a whole universe. But not long after, the fighting continues. Vegeta takes on Batamo, eager to show off more of his Super Saiyan Blue. He knows not to use too much, but this Batamo, alongside Vegeta, who's teamed up with him, is a nuisance. He decides to just do it, and Trunks joins him in the effort. The two power up and simultaneously attack, confusing the two Universe 6 fighters. Together, they succeed in defeating them. Frost attacks Goten, thinking he would be an easy target as he's just a kid, but he soon learns that this isn't the case. Goten, with just a fraction of his power, is able to launch Frost out into the world of Void. 18 and Krillin fight Sosha and defeat him with little to no difficulty. They're then attacked by a fighter much similar, but one that is blind. However, Krillin uses his smart thinking to nullify the ability to smell, and together they defeat this fighter as well. With Goten already taking care of Frost, Krillin isn't defeated here. He continues on. However, Tien makes a sacrifice to take out Harmira with his duplication technique. Vegeta rushes to fight Toppo and is excited to do so. He still hasn't gotten a chance to show off a lot of his power. He and Toppo power up all the way, but are interrupted by Goten's fight with Kale. Both fighters have similar power, and Goku unlocked Kale's Berserk Super Saiyan by fighting Caulifla. Goten intervened and took over, but the key difference between the two is that Goten has full control over his power, while Kale is attacking everyone and everything all while Berserk. He takes full advantage of this, and is able to swiftly land a few punches and make her cough up blood. He kicks her in the jaw, which sends her flying into rubble. He then jumps up above her and fires a point-blank Masenko to send her through the bottom of the arena and out of it. Goku's disappointed at the chance to not get a fight with her, but he finishes his fight with Caulifla and defeats her as well. 18, 17, Krillin, and Trunks take on the Universe 2 fighters, with Krillin suffering at the hands of Ribrianne. In a fit of rage, 18 strikes her in the chest, nearly going through it. She fires her strongest beam along with 17 to send her crashing into the arena, forming a crater, but it's not enough to defeat her. Trunks then powers up in his ultimate form and fires his strongest final flash at Ribrianne, a technique he'd never used before. This attack is so powerful that it even catches the attention of Vegeta, who smirks at him, taking pride in his son. Ribrianne is struck directly in the center of her body, sending her flying out of the ring as well. Gohan and Piccolo fight the Universe 6 Namekians, and Goten and Trunks join in to offer some support. Goten aids Gohan in his quest to charge a powerful Kamehameha, while Trunks helps Piccolo to get up. Together, all four fire a beam which engulfed the opposers and sent them out. This happens all while Goku takes on Jiren. Goku finally faces off against the person he's been meaning to try his new power against. He still hadn't gotten a chance to, but this gave him plenty of time to develop the technique. Goku powers up through his different forms, and Super Saiyan 4 finally starts to give Jiren a challenge. Goku starts to realize how strong Jiren is when he goes all out, using full power Super Saiyan 4, but Jiren is still able to hold his own. Not to worry though, he finally uses his new form, the Super Saiyan 4 Limit Breaker. Super Saiyan God combined with Super Saiyan 4. An immense power so strong that Jiren is now worried. This power starts to match him, and over time he has to power up more and more to keep up with Goku. He uses many techniques like the 10 times Kamehameha, followed by Dragon Fist, which brings Jiren to his knees. Angered, Jiren powers up all the way. He won't take this beating anymore. Goku starts to worry now. What is this power coming off his opponent? It might be too strong for even him to take down. Not to worry though. When Jiren starts to turn the tide, Goten jumps in to help. Powering up into controlled legendary Super Saiyan, he taps Jiren on the shoulder and punches him with all his force, that it sends him crashing through the pillar in the middle of the tournament ring. Jiren is surprised by the power that kid is producing. Goten lifts up his father, and the two prepare to charge at Jiren, but Toppo jumps in. He's countered by Vegeta, who isn't done with their fight. Dispo tries to even out the numbers, but 17 and 18 are on his tail. Gohan, Piccolo, and Trunks work to defeat Anilaza, the giant robot who formed out of nowhere. The Universe 3 robot doesn't fare well against the three. Goku and Goten fight in perfect synergy. The training the two had done together is paying off now. Jiren is overwhelmed by the power coming off the two. Goku's aura even starts to get darker than it was before, reminiscing of power even beyond that of Limit Breaker. Same happens with Goten, as his hair spikes up in the most dire moments of the fight. At the end of it, both of them full send towards Jiren with their strongest Kamehamehas, and take him out of the ring, with themselves. Vegeta defeats Toppo, and 18 sacrifices herself to defeat Dispo. This leaves the Z Fighters to make a wish. And Gohan gets it. He, of course, wishes for all the universes to be revived. And that ends the story of the legendary Super Saiyan Goten. Or does it? We have one more chapter in store, Goten vs. Broly. But that's where we're leaving things off for right now. I really hope you guys enjoyed this part, and if you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Thank you so much to the channel members Vault, Neo Whitcomb, Mystic Angel, the Legendary Super Saiyan, and Aryan Aaron. If you guys want to become members like them, click the join button under the video or the first link in the description. In the description, you will also find the link to my Discord server, as well as the creator of the thumbnail, Patara X. Massive shout out to him as always, but with all that said and done, thank you guys so much for watching. It's been your boy Saiyan, and I'll see you all next time.